Welcome to this session. My name is Kamlesh Parmar and we are going to discuss about overview of risk assessment and risk treatment in respect of ISO 27001. In this session, we will talk about what is ISO 27001 and its benefit of implementation, what is the risk management, overview of risk assessment and risk treatment, and finally we will conclude. So let's begin our discussion. What is ISO 27001? ISO 27001 is an internationally recognized standard for establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continually improving an information security management system, that is ISMS. It provides a framework for organizations to manage and protect their sensitive information, ensuring its confidentiality, integrity, and availability. What are the benefits of the implementation of ISO 27001? Enhance security and reduce the impact of cyber attacks, legal and regulatory compliance, risk management, customer confidence, protect and enhance your reputation, cost savings, competitive advantage. What is the risk management? In context of ISO 27001, risk management is a structured approach to identifying, assessing and mitigating information security risk to protect an organization's valuable asset. Its core component of ISMS. Risk management consists of two main elements, risk assessment and risk treatment. So let's discuss about overview of risk assessment and risk treatment. Risk assessment identifies potential risk and their impact, while risk treatment determines actions to mitigate risk. And ISMS implementation under ISO 27001, all clauses and control matters, but very crucial and complex is risk assessment and risk treatment. It is the most important step and sets the foundation for managing information security in your organization. In ISO 27001, risk assessment and risk treatment are the heart of the ISMS. They are the steps where you figure out what could go wrong when your information and what you are doing to do about it. Overview of risk assessment and regarding the clause of ISO 27001 is 6.1.2. In ISO 27001, risk assessment is a crucial process for identifying, analyzing, and evaluating information security to protect an organization's assets, operation, and stakeholder. It involves determining the likelihood and potentially impact of risk, enabling organization to implement appropriate control and develop a risk treatment plan. This process is essential for establishing robust ISMS and ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. What is the purpose of risk assessment? Identify, evaluate, prioritize risk to information security. What are the steps of risk assessment? The first one, define the risk assessment methodology. In this, criteria of risk acceptance, whether it is the risk is acceptable or require the further treatment or not. Risk evaluation method, that is the qualitative, quantitative, or maybe hybrid. Likelihood and impact scales, low, medium, high, or any numerical scores. Second step is identify a risk. Identify assets, that is the information, system, processes, people, and identify the threats, unauthorized access, malware, inside misuse, etc. Also identify the vulnerabilities like a weak password, outdated software, lack of awareness, and link that threats to vulnerability for each asset. Third one, analyze risk. Assess likelihood. How probable is the event? Assess the impact. What happens if it occurs? And calculate the risk level, that is the likelihood into impact. Or you can also do likelihood plus impact, either multiplication or summations, whatever you like. The fourth step is evaluate risk. Compare against risk assessment criteria. Decide which risk require treatments. What are the methods for risk assessment? The first one is qualitative risk assessment. It uses the descriptive scales like a low, medium, high to assess the likelihood and impact. We can also go for the quantitative risk assessment, that is the use numerical values to assess likelihood and impact, allowing for more precise calculations of risk. Sometimes we go with the hybrid module, that is the combines of both qualitative and quantitative. The choice of methodology depends on the organization size, complexity, and risk appetite. What are the deliverables of risk assessment? The deliverables is risk assessment reports, that is the RAR, and it consists of listing all identified risk, ratings, and priorities. So in essence, ISO 27001 risk assessment is a vital component of comprehensive information security management system. It provides a structured approach to identify, manage risk, enabling organizations to protect their valuable information assets and maintain a strong security posture. Overview of risk treatment. The clause number is 6.1.3 of ISO 27001. In ISO 27001, risk treatment is the process of selecting and implementing controls to reduce the likelihood and impact of identified information security risk. This involves deciding how to address each risk, whether to treatment is avoid, reduce, transfer, or accept. What is the purpose of risk treatment? The purpose is select and implement measures to manage unacceptable risk. What are the options of the risk treatment? The first one is mitigate. Apply the control to the reduce likelihood or impact. The second one is avoid. Change the processes to remove the risk entirely. Third one is transfer. Risk can be shifted to the third party, like by taking the insurance or maybe outsourcing. The fourth one is accept. No further action, but it requires a justification. What are the steps in the risk treatment? The first one is the select control. Based on Annexure A of ISO 27001-2022, there are the 93 controls, and from that controls we need to select. Prepare the statement of applicability, that is the SOA. List all Annexure A controls. State whether each control is applicable or not applicable with proper justification. Link controls to specific risk address. Create the risk treatment plan, that is the risk ID, chosen control, responsible persons, deadlines, resources required. Prioritize based on residual risk and business impact. The fourth one is implement controls. Deploy security measures, update policies, train employees, configure systems. Assess residual risk. After control, re-evaluate risk level. Ensure it meets the acceptance criteria. What are the deliverables of the risk treatment? The first one is statement of applicability, that is the SOA, risk treatment plan, residual dual risk register. In essence, risk treatment in ISO 27001 is a structured approach to manage information security risk, ensuring that organizations have a plan to address, identify vulnerability and minimize potential damage. So now let's conclude. In summary, risk assessment tells you what could go wrong and how bad it could be, while risk treatment tells you what you will do about it. Without a good risk assessment, your risk treatment will be a guesswork, and auditor will catch it, and you will not achieve the desired result. However, risk assessment and risk treatment are not one-time activities. They should be performed on ongoing as a part of continuous improvement. This ensure that ISMS remains effective in protecting the organization information assets. Thank you for your time and attention.